Hello everyone, it's a new year, it's a new season on Low Fuel Motorsport, but unfortunately it's the same old struggle for me in qualifying on Assetto Corsa Competizione. I'm down in 21st position on the grid for this Coach Dave GT3 Sprint race around Brands Hatch.
Green light, give it a look at.
And we're underway, and what on earth is going on to the left? Two cars spearing into the barrier within 1 second of the lights going green. We almost get rear-ended from behind as we get onto the brakes into Paddock Hill. Thankfully there was no contact, but we've gained 2 position, and they'll be the 2 easiest positions I'll pick up all race. I don't know what happened at the start line, and it was Shubik Chatterjee who closed right into me at Paddock Hill Bend. He's trying to go around the outside now at Druids. I think we're just about far enough ahead to get into Graham Hill Bend first and hold on to the position, but we're being put under all sorts of pressure from Chatterjee and that Aston Martin. Approaching Surtees for the first time. Such a tricky uphill left-hander, this one. It's so easy to get wrong, and if you do get it wrong, it costs you loads of speed coming down this long back straightaway. Well, the leaderboard has us in 20th position. We certainly made 2 places with that start line melee, so we must have lost another position on the start line because we've only picked up 1 place from where we started on the grid. And yeah, it must have been Diego Gonzalez who got past somewhere, because Gonzalez was 22nd. He qualified just behind me, however, he's up into 18th now. Make that 17th because there's a red McLaren out in the gravel to the left. We all pick up a position. Look at the rearview mirror. Chatterjee was really hot coming into Sterling's there. I'm amazed there wasn't contact. We've lost another McLaren out to the left, and Chatterjee is going to attack coming into clearways. Do you know what? I think I might just leave him a bit of room to get through safely. We've come so close to contact with him a couple of times already on this opening lap. I think I'll feel safer behind him than I do in front of him in the early stages of this race. So lap 1 is done and dusted, and we find ourselves in 19th position. We've only actually picked up 2 places on that first lap. It feels like we should have progressed far more than that, but let's look at the positives. We're in 1 piece. We've survived it. We're a little bit wide into Druid's hairpin there. That gave Greg Nauman behind a sniff of a pass, but we were able to shut the door. However, we have lost a driver out to the right. That was Jan Bloom, completely fluffing his lines into Graham Hill Bend, so that has promoted us up to 18th. Right, let's see if we can get to the bottom of this start line incident. Now keep your eye on that light blue BMW of Nuno Marquez. He's in the centre of your screen, starting on the inside, but as soon as the lights go green, he pulls out to try and make a pass, and he steers right into the path of the unfortunate Ferrari driver Alessio Masciella. We're on board with Masciella. He had nowhere to go and was taken out within 1 second of the lights going green. And then later in the lap we lost 2 McLarens. The first was the number 25, Igal Serban. He was trying to leave space on the inside but ends up out onto the gravel, and then at the very next turn, exiting Sterling's, Gerardo Alas just gets a little bit too much grass and gets helped on his way into the barrier. And then at the start of lap 2 we gained 1 more position when Jan Bloom just gets his line wrong coming into Graham Hill Bend. He's out onto the grass, he can't get it turned in and loses a bunch of positions. Starting lap 3, and we've just dropped off a little bit from this pack in front, but they're battling so closely together. Alberto Barcina currently in 15th, Diego Gonzalez 16th, and Chatterjee in 17th, all separated by half a second, and we've lost Gonzalez. We're going to move over to the left just in case he slides back onto the track. I don't think he did. Well, at the time, I thought he got a nudge from Chatterjee behind, but in actual fact, Gonzalez did this one all by himself. He just clipped that grass on the outside. So Gonzalez's spin promoted me up to 17th position, and then on the very next lap, I'm going to pick up another place, but we're not going to see it happen on track. There's going to be a disqualification for the pole position man, Louis Crivero. Watch the leaderboard. There it goes. I'm up to 16th. And that's because Crivero ignored a drive-through penalty handed down for his position when the lights went green. So let's watch a replay of the start. Crivero goes, but he goes too early. And when the lights do go green, he's too far forward. We've jumped ahead to the start of lap 7 now, and once again I'm beginning to lose ground on the drivers in front. Wozniak Statnik is the driver in 15th, however I'm more than a second behind, but he has just caught up with a back marker, Gonzalez. Gonzalez, we saw him spin out a few laps ago. He's been for repairs and come back out. Now Statnik is trying to get around Gonzalez here, but it's slowing him down and I'm catching up. Gonzalez out onto the grass. That's going to let Statnik by. I'm just going to move over to allow Gonzalez to rejoin safely, but we get by no problem. Yeah, I'm not sure whether it was a mistake by Gonzalez to run wide at Graham Hill Bend or whether he just did it deliberately to get out of the way and let Stadnik and myself by. Either way, we both got past safely. Yeah, Stadnik getting caught up with Gonzalez for that short spell of time really helped me out. It gave me the opportunity to get right onto the tail of the Bentley, and I've managed to stay there. We're now on lap 9, and as you can see from the leaderboard, the gap is just 0.4 of a second as we come into the Sheen curve. And there's a cloud of dust in front. That's probably from Alberto Barcina because he's within view now. He had cleared off, but that gap to Barcina in 14th now just 1.6 seconds. However, we were a little sluggish out of Sterling's. We've given away a couple of tenths to Stadnik. However, Stadnik's wide out of clearways. He's got 2 tyres on the grass. This is an opportunity for us. He's all 4 tyres on the grass now as we charge down the start and finish straight, and we get by the Bentley, no problem. That has put us up into the top 15. Well, I'd applied some pretty heavy pressure to Stadnik over the previous 2 laps, but he didn't crack, he held firm. However, the mistake finally came exiting clearways. 2 tyres onto the grass, then all 4, and we cruise by. Well, the roles have reversed now. It's Stadnik's turn to apply the pressure, and he is doing exactly that. Look how close he is in the rearview mirror as we come around Druid's hairpin. 0.2 of a second is the gap. Thankfully, we're a car length in front coming into Graham Hill Bend, so Stadnik wasn't close enough to try and move up the inside, but I suspect he might have a look up the inside into Surtees, and he is. But again, we're just far enough ahead to hold on. But yeah, we're going to have to deal with some pretty heavy pressure from that Bentley now. Meanwhile, in front, look how closely that pack of 3 are battling, and there's big contact into Hawthorns. We've lost the Porsche. Silas Furman was absolutely launched into the barrier there. So that has promoted us up to 14th, but the pressure is well and truly on now. Look behind, we've got Stadnik 0.2 of a second behind, and also Nauman and Bloom all within a second. It's so important now that we don't put a foot wrong. We need to hold our nerve, and we have put a foot wrong into Sterling's. We got a little bit of a slide on that, got 2 wheels out over the curb onto the grass. That's going to cost us some speed. We've now got no choice but to defend into clearways. Stadnik tried to go the long way round. It didn't work, and it might have cost him another position because Greg Nauman is challenging, and they're side by side coming down the start and finish straight. It looks like Nauman might take 15th position. Stadnik tries to close the door into Paddock Hill Bend. That's brave. It didn't work though. Nauman up to 15th, and now he's going to be challenging me. Right, let's see what happened to poor Furman in the Porsche. Hawthorns on the previous lap. He's going to get hit by the McLaren behind. Christian Dizan just broke too late and launched that black Porsche into the gravel trap. And that's Alberto Barcina diving up the inside to take a position, so it cost Dizan a place, but that's not nearly as much as what it cost Furman. And then towards the end of the lap, I nearly cracked under the pressure, just missing the apex slightly into Sterling's. I get out too wide on exit over the curb. Stadnik immediately goes for the racing line, so at this point I've got no choice but to defend. Stadnik goes out wide, but he's got to lift off the gas to avoid running onto the gravel himself. That allows Greg Nauman to challenge, and Nauman is going to tuck it up the inside to take 15th position. Well, we're going to jump forward and rejoin the live action halfway through lap 17. There's only 1 minute left on the clock. We've just about managed to hold off Nauman behind. He's still within a second, however, he hasn't got much closer than that, so I'm feeling fairly comfortable at the moment. Meanwhile, in front, we're actually reeling in the driver in 13th, Josef Pernersdorfer. Now, I think I've got the pace to close right in on him and apply some pressure over these final couple of laps, but I'm not going to need to because he's run out onto the grass at Sheen Curve, and that has gifted us 13th position. Yeah, there are a few trickier corners than this in sim racing. Watch him just clip the grass on the outside, and the moment he does that, he's not going to be able to turn the car in time. Misses the apex, and he's out onto the grass. We get by, but he manages to hold on to 14th position. That's Greg Nauman right behind him, but we're going to lose Nauman on the final lap. He miscalculated his fuel, so he had to go into the pits with 1 lap to go, so really frustrating for Nauman. And we were able to cross the line, take the checker flag in 13th position. Stadnik gets 14th, but he's 2 seconds back.
Good job.
Well, it's safe to say my performances in ACC still aren't turning any heads, but I was solid enough in this one. I'm really happy with 13th overall, considering I started down in 21st on the grid. My fastest lap in the race was a 1:25.3, so that was quicker than qualifying, but it was still a good few tenths off being competitive compared to the drivers finishing in the top 10. But I think I've done about as well as could be expected here. It was a good race, it was a solid race, but I'm still waiting for that absolute classic in Assetto Corsa Competizione. I haven't had it yet, but maybe it'll be next time, and if it is, I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you on the grid again very soon. Cheers.